Hi YouTube, my name is Gawd, and you're watching Gawd Cafe. So here at Gawd Cafe, we like to discuss spirituality, sexuality, and astrology. Today we'll be talking about taking your time, resistance, and how, that can just get in the way of manifesting what we want, achieving what we want, whatever you want to call it. When we create resistance by not taking our time, we in turn cause like static, friction, um, literally the actual word resistance towards something that's trying to come our way, and we wouldn't know. The reason why this is true is because energy is a dance. If you're constantly pushing yourself into things or into situations, trying to make things happen because you're not taking your time, you're impulsive, you can't wait anymore, you've had enough. We've all been there, trust me. My patience is not good, so I'm number one suspect. So I think when we don't take our time, we end up, spilling some shit or having to do something twice or extra. Have you ever seen yourself do something frustrated? How you might, slam it here, slam it there, and then I don't know, you slam a pot because you're upset. Now all the pot water jumps up, maybe splashes on you, and you're like, fuck, of course. This frequency of not taking your time attracts everything to be chaotic. So if you think about it, taking your time attracts more of that energy, this slower, softer. Now, granted, there's going to be times you can't take your time, clearly. But given the fact that you can, you should really utilize exercising this energy. The reason, as I mentioned, is so that your energy can unconsciously get used to this energy and make this the default energy that you operate in, rather than exercising constantly rush, frustrated, eager, impatient energy. That is making everyone around you uncomfortable, including you, the host of that energy. So it's very important to understand the effects of taking your time. Now, if you're someone who's impulsive or doesn't know how to take their time, I highly recommend doing things that test your patience, like activities that you enjoy that test your patience. So, for example, for me, I had music to really do that for me. Me making music really tested my patience. There was times I've quit thousands of times because I couldn't. The little, the little brat in me was like, oh, I gotta do this now, I gotta edit this. Just cause I got just a little background. I record hip hop music, and I'm also an audio engineer. So I've been able to engineer myself while I record myself and write and all that stuff. So sometimes it would just make me feel overwhelmed because I'm doing more than one person's job, right? So I would feel overwhelmed, but I had to understand that this is part of the journey, that I need to push through the impatience, because it was the only tool or thing that I could use as a tool to work on my patience. I love music that much, so it's the only thing that would force me to develop patience. So you have to find some sort of activity or hobby or passion or talent that would have to, in turn, force you to be more patient, because the love you have for it is the driving force for you to do so. I don't think us as humans, it doesn't feel good to sit through that discomfortability that you feel when being impatient. You know what I mean? I think that's why all of us gets and we just act out and do stuff. Now, taking your time. Take your time. Take your time. Whatever you have to do to reinforce this, I simplified the essence of how we should operate with our energy at all times would take your time. Take your time could mean, slow down, or Take it at your pace. Move at your time. Take your time. Own your time. Take your time. Don't let time take you. Don't let time just go and you're like, what did I do all that time? It took me. Then it takes you 5, 10, 20 years to realize that you didn't take your time. Time took you. Okay, so that's this video. I hope this video helps anyone who has dealt with resistance and not knowing how to take your time. Let me just dive into resistance a little bit further before I end this video. Resistance will always block any blessing you have coming. And just to reinforce why, it's just, imagine a stream of water going down to the end of this waterfall. So a stream of water, you're like pulling up to like the stream, and you see the stream of water, and in that stream of water is, let's say, on a leaf, right? On a lily. On this lily, there's something floating. Okay, what's floating on this lily? On this lily, there is an apple floating on this lily. You haven't eaten. It's the first apple you've seen. You've been stranded. You're like, oh my God, I need this apple, right? So now you have this intense desire to get this apple. You're gonna now create resistance, perhaps because of the eagerness to get this apple from the lily that's going down the stream. So now you're like, what do I do to get this? Let me go get a boat. Let me go get, like, let me create something. How do I get this lily? I gotta go find a way to get this lily. And you see the lily streaming down, but you're like, I gotta go, I gotta figure out how to go against the stream to catch it before it goes down the waterfall. Like, now you start creating a whole scenario as to what you should do without analyzing anything further past your first thought. You're not taking your time. If you had taken your time, you would, tap into your bird eye view and see, okay, like maybe I might miss the lily with the apple if I do all that. It's going down the stream. Perhaps I should find somewhere where I can maybe like be closer to catch it, and just wish for the best, and be impeccable with my timing, and just that's where we have to just take our time so that we could be on time, so we can seize the right opportunities, not just any opportunities. So taking your time has a lot of benefits to it, because now let's go back into that stream of water example and how resistance might make things go left. So let's say you're so eager to get into the stream and you want to make sure you could get this lily with the apple on it. So now you're like, maybe like you're trying to prevent it from going too fast, or you're trying to like make the water go against the current, right? Because in your head you think this is gonna work, right? This is what impulsiveness does. So you're like trying to splash it this way, and it's causing the lily to rotate and go further away from you, because now you're doing so much resistance to what was flowing down the stream. You're creating so much resistance to what was already flowing down the stream. Now that you're trying to like do something to counter what is already happening. Resistance, going against this current, going against the current. Resistance, going against the current. Resistance. The next person who isn't as resistant, perhaps hopeful, is like, if I can't get this apple, I might get another apple. It's fine. It's not the end of the world. But I know if I climb up, closer to this rock over here on the side, I could get closer in on it. And I could then, reach for the apple once the lilies is coming right now. If I just make it in the next 30 seconds, I'll probably be able to catch it. Maybe I'll make a net so I could catch it. Now you start thinking more clearly. So a lot of taking your time is being okay if shit hits the fan prior. And in a weird way, because you're okay with it hitting the fan, it won't. Because you're at peace and you're like hoping that it doesn't, but making peace if it does. So there's no resistance. You're detaching. A lot of times when we're too attached, we can't stop the resistance. So you must detach and be like, it's gonna be okay. If we don't get this apple on the lily, there'll be other apples somewhere. Maybe not on this, I want this apple now, but it is what it is. If I can't get it this second, I know there's other apples, and if there's a tree here, there has to be other apples. Kind of talking to yourself in a slower pace allows you to really put things in your brain into perspective when you take your time, and you just have better decision making, clearer thoughts, less frustration, less stress. Anyway, I think this video is long enough. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. My name is Gary the Gawd. I am your host. This is Gawd Cafe. Until next time. Oh wait, please comment, like, and subscribe.